guys, Andy here. I'm back in this instance with the Nokia Lumia 930, but today I'm going to be looking at Windows 8.1. The last time I looked at Windows operating system, when I had the 1520, it generated, shall we say, lively discussion, both on the handset review and the me reviewing Windows. Me as an Android user and an Android fan, I'll declare that right away. But I like to think that I'm generally quite open to other operating systems. I like to think I'm relatively unbiased. Other people didn't necessarily agree. I generally just tell you what I see. That's all I'm going to do in this instance. So I've been using 8.1 for a week and a bit. It definitely has improved since the last video that I did. There's some definite ways that this operating system has moved forward. In a lot of ways I think it's weird that it started from, I think, not the best of positions, but okay, and it's moved now to a sort of a reasonably good position. There's just some things I think that it could have done that would have moved it even to, to actually a really good operating system. But let's have a look through right now and see see what I think basically. So I'm not going to go over everything. Watch the previous video I did for a bit more detail perhaps. I'm going to try and cover mainly what's changed from 8 to 8.1. I don't know if Tap to Wake is a Windows feature or a Nokia feature, but I do like it. I'll point that out right now. So one of the big ones is Cortana, which is the sort of Siri of the Windows operating system, or the Google now. And generally the voice detection seems very good. We activate it by pressing the search button. What will the weather be like tomorrow? Maybe I want to tap that first. Look. What will the weather be like tomorrow?
The forecast for tomorrow shows there will be cloudy skies with a high of 19 and a low of 15.
So generally the voice sounds pretty good. It wasn't the smoothest, was it? The forecast was probably the weather will be, but still. And I forget that you can't just press the search button and start talking. Neither is it voice activated, so you can't say, obviously with my Google phone, okay Google, and then just talk. So maybe that will come, but again, this is one of those little things that, could they not have put that in, it would have made, to me, that little bit of difference, that you've gone totally hands-free. One thing as well, so I know with Google, when I've wanted to check when a football team are playing someone else, I've been able to say, so if I say something like, when will Leicester City play Arsenal? So it gives me the last result. Well, it just gives me a search of basically Leicester City and Arsenal. What I do like, I'll point out now, I'm going to mention it later probably, is just sort of kind of a global search. So it will search anything locally, it will search my images, or not my images, so just images generally, videos, and anything on the phone locally. So I like that. That is quite clever. Related to this though, when I'm in the store, now obviously there is a little search icon there, but there was one time I kind of, I want to search for, to me so it's not even a search button now, it is a Cortana button. That doesn't seem right to me. It should, I don't know, when we're in a certain position to do a search, I should be able to search using it, no? I don't know, that's just me, but I guess if you're used to Windows and you're used to that being a Cortana button, and you're used to hitting a separate button that's appeared that does what that button should do, then it's fine. But like I say, it seems the voice detection is pretty good. Let's try asking a maths question just out of interest. What is 17 times 95? So it gives you the answer. It doesn't speak about it, that's a shame, but it does give the answer. Like I say, the voice detection does seem very good, so I would say well done on that. Cortana, generally pretty good. The other thing that's pretty noticeable straight away is the sort of the background. So you get some tiles that are see-through, and at the minute I've got a Borderlands character with a funny hat on. Now let's go into settings, start and theme. So I can choose a photo, I can have it from their sort of pre-selected backgrounds. Once I've chosen that, I can then change the colour to match the new background. And now it has, all of my bits have gone green. So that's much better. I will point out as well, one thing that really annoyed me in the last video was the screen sensitivity. I have since found to turn that down straight away. I forget exactly where it is, and maybe we shouldn't bother looking too hard. If you need to find it, you'll find it, I'm sure. Is it? No, it won't be a display, will it? Color profile updated. Okay. There are a lot of settings. For me, there's almost too many settings. There we go. Touch. Is that going to be it? Normal. So it defaults to high. So straight away I put it on normal, and I've not really had any of the problems that I had with the 1520. It's all works good. So nice that you can change the theming. I like how it's sort of the top moves at a different rate to the image underneath. That's quite nice. All around, that's pretty good. We also get new in 8.1 quiet hours, so you can set certain hours where basically just the phone won't bother you. Handy for some people, I'm sure. I don't generally get phone calls during the middle of the night, so not too much of an issue. We get a variety of entertainment apps, Xbox Music, video, and a podcast app. Now the podcast app I did try and used, and honestly I was quite, that's the stock one here. I was quite disappointed in that I was trying to download an episode of something. I was walking to this tube station, I knew I was going to be going underground, so I thought, right, I want to be able to listen to the rest of this show, and it basically told me I couldn't download the show, which is only about 25 meg, because I wasn't connected to Wi-Fi. Again, it's just another of these little things that makes me think, Windows, come on, why? This is 2014, it's almost 2015, I've got 20 gig, why? I've got a 4G connection that's faster than some people's home broadband. Why would you not let me download a 25 meg file unless I'm connected to Wi-Fi? I was really disappointed by that. Anyway, I didn't particularly find a podcast app that I liked, if I'm honest. Beyond Pod is not available, but we'll talk about apps in a little while. The keyboard, what's my quickest way to get to the keyboard? So, testing, tummy. Fair enough, let's try again. Let me be a bit more precise, there we go. Testing the keyboard. Generally, it was pretty good. You get lots of options along the top if it has got it wrong. Generally good. Kind of made me chuckle a little bit how it's said to be new swipe style, shape writing. Obviously, Android's had it for about 4 years, but it is new to Windows. Fair enough. That's, it's a move in the right direction. Just while I'm here, I do miss that I can't hold down a letter and get a number at the top. Normally, I've got to go into. It's only a small thing, but again, I'm just used to being able to do that sort of thing. And obviously, we're stuck with the one keyboard still. iOS has now moved on to allow third party. I wonder if Windows will. It is a good keyboard. It's nice and responsive. You can type fairly quick on it. The shape works well. There's just a few bits and pieces that, again, for me, would have really pushed it that extra bit. But it is fast and accurate though, generally. Now, can I delete? Do I just go back? And it's gone. Fair enough. What else? So Wi-Fi Sense automatically connecting to crowdsource open Wi-Fi. I tried to read up and tried to understand it. I think it's to do with if your friends have connected to Wi-Fi and they've got the password, that automatically gets shared to you without you having to type in the password, but I'm not sure. Another thing that was touted as being an improvement, there's a Files app. Really? Is that... Actually, I'm not even sure where it is. It's not in the F-look for Files. Again, I just read that off the website of the listed new features. So far, yeah, no, it's good. It's good. It's one of them comes really. Didn't have one before, but it's good that it's there now. Well done. Notification settings. Now this, I am very pleased. This was one of my big complaints before, that there were no notifications. They are there now. I find it a bit odd. I've lost it now. There's only one icon though, from what I can tell. You get a funny, it looks to me like a mail icon or a text message icon. That's the only one you get for all of your messages basically. Now again, I've only been mentioned once. I'm not sure quite why I've got 5. They're all at the same time. I know for a fact that's only one mention, so I'm not quite sure why Twitter's saying it's 5. I like how they all sort of they get dragged. See, that one tells you it's 2 mentions. I can tap and go into the app as you would expect, although it's not gone to my mentions, which is not really right, but not too bad. That's the app's fault, I guess, rather than... Oh, Oh, that was a tap when I was sliding. Anyway. So that, oops. Now that's another thing. It doesn't seem to, I can't bring notifications down on this side of the screen. Oh, there it goes finally. Google Maps. So, you know, yeah, good, I like. We've got a clear all button. And toggles. I was desperate for toggles last time. Sure enough, here they are. You can change the toggles. Let's, again, notification and action. So there we go. If I wanted to change the camera on, I tap on that. I can change to brightness. So at the minute it's on automatic. I can go low, medium, high. Actually, that'd be a better one to leave there, really. Internet sharing to turn on tethering is right there. So that's a fantastic. I'm really, really pleased with that. That was a big annoyance for me in the last one. The only thing, again, that they could have gone just that bit further, I want to be able to hold down on this. I mean, that, again, it's been an Android for a couple of years. Hold down and it pops you through to the settings. You know, especially with Bluetooth, when you need to sort of maybe search for a device or whatever, it's very handy. Still, it's good. I like the notifications. Another thing that's touted is burst mode in camera. I don't know if that's the live view type thing. That's kind of cool. I'll show you that just in case that's what it is. Find a picture that has movement in it. So do you see that? Just that little bit of movement and then the photo. It's quite nice. You still get the regular photo, just regular JPEG. You don't download as GIFs or anything. It is literally only like a split second. I'm not sure how valuable and how much of a difference it makes, but it's kind of cool. I quite like it. Yeah, no, it's good. You can project your screen onto a PC, but you need to do it via USB. So again, I've got very used to maybe spoilt by Google and Chromecast. Chromecast is so easy. I can literally press a few buttons, poof, and my screen appears on my TV through Wi-Fi. But it's a good step forward to be able to do that. I've mentioned the universal search across the whole phone. The Bing apps they're quite nice. So we get weather, headlines, sources, topics. It's all nicely presented, so I've added my own bits and pieces of what I want to hear news about. There's like a fitness app, news and weather, sports, all that sort of thing. It's generally good. Also, you can sync your settings and data with other Windows 8 things such as a tablet, and also we can make folders. So what would I put together? Maybe I'd put, where is my music? Okay, let's do mixed radio and the podcast lounge at the bottom. So I highlight. Now, actually, how do I make a folder? I thought I just dropped it on, but maybe not. Maybe I made one by mistake at some point. Now I'm not sure how I did it. No. There we go. So I can name that media. Done. So that goes into the one tile, and obviously you can put more. So where did my music go? There we go. Let's move this down here and put that in there as well. So that's pretty cool. That's a good improvement. I get a bit anal about organising my home screens and stuff, so I like that you can have folders. So those are the main sort of upgrades, changes. Some of the other things that I've noticed, or I like, when the notifications come in. So initially the screen will come on, and you'll get a sort of a line notification of you've been retweeted or whatever, and you tap that, straight away it goes to the app. I do wonder because that bypasses any secure, well, actually I don't know because I don't have a lock on, I just have a slide. It goes straight to the app. I think the app situation has got a lot better on Windows, and obviously it's going to, as time goes by, more developers will produce a Windows version of their app. If I give you an example of some of the bigger apps that I use, well, not even necessarily the big ones, but the common apps that I use, and the ones that I was able to find, that were on a list there. So Amazon, these are the ones that I could find. Amazon, iPlayer, CBS Sports Fantasy Football, won't be for everyone, but it was important to me, and there's a Windows version. Endomondo, Facebook, Instagram's got a beta version out. Netflix, although no Chromecast support, obviously. NFL Mobile, Swarm to check in the Foursquare type app. Temple Run 2, just found it as for a bit of fun, Twitter, Vine, WhatsApp, Evernote, IMDb, Vivo, SoundHound, Speedtest.net and Tapator, the app for reading forums. So all of those have like official first party, do you call them, apps available on Windows Phone. Others I kind of found some workarounds, so third party, Google+, Dropbox, Trello, YouTube, TV Catch-Up and Snapchat, all with third party developers have made apps to work with them, but I generally find they just don't look as good. The Google Plus one, pretty horrible app. Most Windows Phone users won't care at all. I do use Google Plus quite a lot, as does my family. It's quite important to me, and the app is just terrible. It's where all my photos are stored as a backup as well. Again, if you're into Windows, you go to the Windows ecosystem, I guess that doesn't matter, but the Dropbox app, not great still. YouTube, there's a few different ones out there, none of them look that great, none of them look as good as the official ones, or even just some of the third party on Android. Apps that I couldn't find, Amazon Prime Instant Video. It's quite a new one, it's only just come to Android, so I suppose no shock that it's not on Windows just yet. Google Drive, I think there might have been a paid version. I wasn't prepared to try it, to be honest, just for the purpose of the test. It was a good couple of pound. NFL Game Pass, where you can watch all the NFL games. The official F1 app isn't out on Windows just yet. Beyond Pod, so I'm on to kind of the slightly more specific apps. So Beyond Pod is my podcast app of choice. There isn't an iOS version either, so it's perhaps a bit unfair to say that it's not out on Windows, although on their website it does say they're working on a Windows app and it's in beta. I did email them almost 2 weeks ago, didn't get a response, thanks. TV show Favs is my TV tracker of choice. That's not out. I don't think that's out on iOS, although I'm not sure, I've checked, but that's not out on Windows. And Jefit, J-E-F-I-T, is my fitness tracker of choice for lifting, for working out on Android. There is an iOS version out, but there's not a Windows version. So all in all, it's in a much better position, and I'm sure it'll get stronger and stronger, and hopefully the third-party apps will get better. Right now, I think they're probably how iOS users viewed Android apps about 3 years ago. They generally didn't look very pretty, they weren't quite as functional perhaps, but hopefully that improves in the coming months. It's worth me mentioning the Here Drive Plus. I've used it quite a lot. The big positive being you can download maps from across the whole of Europe onto the device. I think England was about 400 megabytes. The setting buttons are all nice and big for operation while you're driving a car, although I'm sure you're not really supposed to. I think you could probably get in trouble for that, so I'm not advising you do. But even when you go into different settings, they're still nice and big. Interestingly here, they've got lines separating the different things, which is what I would love to. And they've used capital letters. Look, oopsie daisy, my mistake. And they've used capital letters, which is not like when you go into the settings here where they don't use capitals and there's no lines separating them. Anyway. But yeah, it is a nice app. It actually works very well. I find that the traffic isn't quite as accurate as Google. Quite often I'd come into very slow moving traffic, it wouldn't really know about it, or I'd be almost stationary and it would just be saying it was amber. Google generally would, I find it amazing how accurate Google is when navigating when it comes to the traffic. And also I miss the alternative routes that Google pops up. As you're driving towards a junction, it will tell you this route is 3 minutes slower, or this route is 5 minutes faster, and you can make a decision, oh actually alright, I'll turn off onto that. And even just getting an alternative route seemed quite hard on this particular sat-nav. So, all in all, I do think it's made some good progress forward. I know I've been quite negative. I'm going to point out the things that I think, well, this doesn't, I missed this from Android, it's not there. But you've got to remember, Android is, it's a 6-year-old operating system. It's done a lot of evolution. Windows hasn't yet. I just kind of, I don't know, so I suppose I think I want them to copy, or I think they should copy, if that makes sense, like the holding down on the icon to open the settings. Yeah, that would be copying Android, but I don't know, would they get sued for that? I don't think so. No more than just by putting the toggles, surely. But to me, that's quite important, and so I just don't understand why they didn't do it, I guess. But as I've said before, it's nicely themed. It all looks nice. It's very smooth. It benchmarks very well against Android. See my other video where I put it up against the S5, and in things like opening Angry Birds and running a browser test, it actually, the Nokia did very well, which is, I'm sure, down to the operating system, because the specs aren't quite as good as the S5. So all in all, it's a good operating system. My problem is that I'm very much built into the Google ecosystem. So, for example, my whole family uses Hangouts. That's how we message each other. I can't get it on here. Most of my documents are in Google Drive. I can't really get in here unless I pay for the app. Chromecast, I use the Chromecast for a lot of stuff on my TV. Windows doesn't support it in any way at all. Even just YouTube, the apps that I've tried, not particularly very good. So that's me being bought into Google. If you're happy enough to move things over to OneDrive and all the other sort of Windows equivalents, that takes out a big negative. And actually, Windows is now, it's looking like a nice operating system. Well, it always looked like a nice operating system, but now the app support's increasing. They're adding features that were sorely needed, I felt, in the last version. So all around, good update, and it's giving Windows that extra bit of strength. Still not as good as Android, but it's getting better. Let me know your comments below. Let's try not to get too abusive. I'm all for discussion, but you start getting abusive, then you'll be gone. My name's Andy. I'll catch you all again soon.